And welcome to Let's Talk Houston. And I am your host, Dr. J. Lynn Hill. And welcome to Let's Talk.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower cleared.
And welcome to Let's Talk Houston. And I am your host, Dr. J. Lynn Hicks. And in the studio with us today, we have none other than this amazing, phenomenal woman of God, Miss Ibrandia Perry. Yay! Let's give it up for Miss Ibrandia. Here she is live and in living color. You all listen. Go and reach your audience, Miss.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be in the building this evening, talking with Dr. Hicks. I'm so excited for us to conversate this evening, and whenever we get into it, we're gonna get into it.
All right. I love that. Whenever we get into it, we are going to most definitely get into it. Listen, I tell you, go ahead, click like, click share, tell Lottie Dottie and every doggone body that we are live and in living color. I'm fresh off the plane. I just returned home from Dubai. I could tell you that was a phenomenal experience. And I was so excited when I booked you because I said, Ibrandia is going to be the first person I see on that show when I get back off that plane. And I thought to myself, that's going to be great because Ibrandia, you have such a beautiful, sweet personality. I love you because you don't know it, but I just love you because I think you're a sweetheart, Ibrandia.
I really am. My mama raised me right.
She raised you right. Yeah, every time I see you, you're always smiling, friendly. You're always, approachable. You're always the same, consistent. And that is what I like about you, I tell you.
Thank you.
And your mama she's a doll too. Your mama's a doll.
She is.
Yeah. And I love your son.
Yeah, he's
Bo Baby.
He's a real MVP.
I need to get Bo Baby on here.
Bo is under construction.
He's under
construction right now.
He's under construction.
He's under construction.
Okay. Well, Bo's under construction. Okay. Whenever the renovations and the modifications are completed, please allow Bo to come grace us with his presence.
Absolutely.
So yeah, y'all go ahead, click like, click share. I'm pretty sure that something is going to be said to inspire or motivate you along the way. So we know that Miss Ibrandia, she is a wife, she is a mother, she is a career woman.
I am.
She's a daughter.
I am that.
And she's a playwright.
I am that.
She is an amazing singer.
I am definitely that.
I mean, I've witnessed this for myself many times, especially at Mr. 180's events and the play you did when you were in that other play, the Final Hours of a Deceased Church or the Autopsy of a Dead, whatever it was. Yeah, I've heard you say, "Oh, you have such a beautiful voice."
Thank you, Dr. Hicks.
Did you release a project?
I did.
Right.
I did have a single come out last year. Come on.
Yeah.
Produced by Glenn and Sheila Piper at BDMU Groove Music.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. I tell you. So I was looking at your bio and I saw how you have been influenced and inspired by your mother, none other than Miss Cynthia J. Hickman.
Yes, Dr. Cynthia.
Yeah,
J.
Dr. Oh, yeah, that's right. Correct me. Okay. I got jet lag. Okay. Charge it to my head and not my heart. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm still adjusting, okay?
That's all right. It's all right.
They told me, I asked them about Wi-Fi on that plane, and she said, "Oh, ma'am, we're flying over the North Pole, and they don't have a set." So I'm trying to tell you, I've just flown over the North Pole. Okay, so yeah, I looked down on the map and said I was flying over Amsterdam, Moscow, and everything else. So what I'm saying is, I'm still getting myself back together.
You're still getting yourself together.
Yeah, I'm trying to get myself back together.
Okay. It's okay.
So Dr. Cynthia J. Hickman. I always call the compassionate caregiver advocate. I mean, I know proactive caregiver. I make up my own name, but she's compassionate. She is a caregiver. She is an activist, and she's an advocate. Okay, so there you have it. So thank you for raising such a fine young lady, Dr. Cynthia, because I absolutely love your daughter. She's such a sweetheart, and she spoke of in her bio how she has been influenced by you. You were an organist,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess she grew up under that musical influence.
Mm-hmm.
She's a creative,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, with her singing, her playwriting abilities and skills. And so 13, it says you won a competition. Tell me about that.
Ooh. Actually, I think my mama entered me into that singing competition.
Uh-huh.
Believe it or not, like when I tell people I'm shy, they don't believe that I'm shy. But I'm down to my core. I really am
Right.
a very shy person. But my mom entered me into this singing competition
Right.
just because it was something that came to Missouri City.
Mhm.
And they showcased it at Jones Hall.
Okay.
So it was a pretty big event.
Yeah.
And I actually won that competition. And
Wow.
from that competition, there were some other musicians in the house that night that asked me to come sing as part of some other little programs that they were doing. But from that point on and going forward, I've always kind of been in the spotlight as far as singing is concerned and doing something related to music. You mentioned my name, most people think of the musical side of me. They don't directly go to like the actor or the writer. They automatically go to the vocalist.
Wow. It says here that you were part of the I guess the cast in 2005 for Crowns, the Portrait of Women in Church Acts. It's funny, but I saw that play at the Ensemble.
That's where it was.
And I just can't believe that I'm sitting there. You were in that play, and I was watching that.
Did you see that?
I saw it.
Then you saw me because I was one of the main characters. Well, actually, I was one of the only singing characters.
Yeah, I know, but it was a while. This is 2005. But I'm saying, I was there at the Ensemble. I remember some of the people from Windsor Village were some of the musicians down there that they had playing. I remember speaking to them. I said, oh, wait a minute. There's Craig. There's this one. There's that one.
Yeah.
I was speaking.
Wow.
That is amazing. I saw you. We were destined.
World.
We were destined to prospect.
Absolutely.
To
I believe it.
Wow. So before you started writing, you were already part of the creative side of the arts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The fine arts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was, like I said, I was introduced to the arts at a very, very early age. We grew up in I call it Kojic Baptist, back in Toledo, Ohio, because they did a little bit of, it was a mixture of both processes, Kojic and Baptist. And so Shirley Murdoch is actually the first gospel artist that I was actually introduced to and actually had a relationship with. She knew who I was. Little Brandy is what they called me back at Faithway Church in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, shout out Toledo.
Yeah, Toledo, Ohio, and to Miss Shirley Murdoch.
Miss Shirley Murdoch
for helping push me right along. But I've always been around music. I've always been around musical people. And the crazy actor, creative side, that was just like icing on the cake. It kind of just came naturally, because I think everybody in my family is really silly and has big personalities. And so all of that develops, over time. And then as you go on and you're introduced to, certain things, whether it's through elementary, middle school, and high school, whatever sticks, you kind of just go with.
Yeah, you just go with the flow. I got you. So currently you're working on a project.
I am.
You have written a play.
I have.
And that play is entitled Therapy.
It is.
And I've got my ticket.
And you do.
Yeah, I went online to support it. I went and purchased my ticket. That might have been a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you were one of the first buyers. So
yeah,
thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so I got my ticket. It's at the Match Theater downtown. I've been there several times. And I'm pretty sure, I know this play is going to be phenomenal because of who has written this play.
Absolutely.
So tell me about the inspiration behind this play. It's May the 17th.
May 17th and 18th at the Match Theater, at 3400 Main Street.
Right.
Oddly enough, the subject matter, the topic, or the subject matter behind therapy is not something that I typically write about.
Okay.
I typically write about church and things that are happening in church. But I had a dream.
Okay.
And the last time I had a very vivid dream,
Come
it was
on, Martin.
when I
You said you had a dream.
I did.
Okay.
I did. And the last time I had a vivid dream like that, it was when I wrote The Final Hours of a Dead Church, which you did see.
I did.
Which it was very good.
It was.
It was. But that's what happened this time. I had a dream, and I kept having this dream over and over again. And so after about a week of having the same dream beginning to end, it was one of the nights I woke up and I was just like, Lord, are you trying to tell me something? Do I need to write this down?
Yeah.
Because again, the same thing had happened when I wrote The Final Hours of a Dead Church.
Mhm.
And so from that point, I decided to get up and to start being obedient to the dream. And by the time I finished and the last period was on the paper,
Mhm.
and I went back and I read it, I said to myself, wow, this is an assignment. This is not anything that came from me.
Right.
This is a God-sent assignment.
Mhm.
And I have been very, very passionate about getting this word out, and just for people to realize that, one, self-care is not selfish,
Mhm.
and seeking therapy for whatever issues you may be having is
Right.
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
We all need a little bit of therapy.
Yeah.
Even our therapists need a therapist,
Yes.
so it's very, very important. And one of the topics that we don't talk about enough is men and mental health.
Mhm.
And this kind of chronicles this production chronicles men and mental health, restoration, healing, and how through therapy you can overcome and achieve those things.
Yes, that's awesome. I like when people, dig in and find like a hidden gem or a hidden concept that has not received a lot of exposure,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
men and mental health.
Yes.
I think somebody was on the show not too long ago, and she spoke about men. Men, typically don't like to open up and even make themselves embrace the concept of therapy. So that's
true.
so that's good that you would address it and you would put that into play.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, your cast, is it men or women? If it's talking about
So it's a mixture of men and women. So the main character is a man.
Okay, that's right.
And we actually get to see him in 4 stages of his life.
Okay.
We get to see him as a child, a 5-year-old. We get to see him as a 10-year-old. We get to see him as an adult, 23, and then we get to see him at the precipice of his life, where trauma has really taken over his life and his struggle and his battle to release those demons that have been plaguing his life for so long because of the generational curses of his forefathers.
Right.
So it is very deep. I guarantee you there probably will not be a dry eye in the theater.
No.
If it is, they just crazy.
They don't have a heart.
They don't have a heart. Because it really, really tackles.
It's a tearjerker?
It is. It is. I think accidentally, but necessary.
Okay.
And I had, before I decided to even cast this play, I brought a room full of people together, because one thing about me, which is really a bad thing, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to certain things, especially when it deals with writing.
Yes.
Good writing is important. Sentence structure is important.
Yes.
Grammar and punctuation, all
That's
these
important.
things are very important to me. And so before I even cast,
you see your people? Cynthia J. Hickman. I did a good
y'all,
job.
hey, y'all.
Yes, she did, ma'am.
Yes, she did.
Mr. 180. Hey,
y'all.
Cynthia J.
Hey,
Hickman.
y'all.
Check.
Hey. So before I
she putting a check every time I said so. I guess about
check,
you.
Yeah. So before I even cast this show, I brought a room full of thespians together, and I said, I would like for us to read this play.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly. I said, because something about this feels different from any other project that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Something about it is different. So give me the good, the bad, the ugly. I can take it. This is one where I need people to be honest with me. Tell me if it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Tell me if you don't feel a thing.
Yeah.
Tell me the truth.
Tell me the truth.
Because, your friends will get with you and be like, girl, that's good. You did a good job. knowing good and well it's not good, and that you didn't do a good job. So that was important to me as well, to bring people together who would tell me the truth.
Right.
And when we finished this initial table read,
Rita Milton.
Oh, that's
Ronnie.
my godmommy. Hi,
hey,
godmommy.
Brandy, your godmother's watching.
She
from Toledo.
From Toledo. She sang
Come
in the
on,
choir
Toledo.
with Shirley Murdoch too.
Yeah.
So by the time we finished this initial table read, this is not the cast. This is just random people.
Right.
No one had anything to say. And it was like a still moment.
And come over the room.
And nobody had anything to say.
Speak.
And I was looking like, okay, y'all,
come on.
Give me some feedback.
They were just broke. And
they couldn't.
Couldn't talk.
And they could not.
Speechless.
They could not. I mean,
Speechless.
even tears
Yeah.
were flowing at this table reading. This is not the cast now.
Yeah.
These are just random people just reading.
Random people.
Just reading to understand, to give me the feedback that I
Give
was
you the
requesting.
feedback.
So as no one had anything to say, I just said, do
Mm.
y'all think that this is good to go forward?
Yeah.
And everybody said yes. So the casting for therapy began.
Mm.
And I was able to cast, when I say some phenomenal actors.
Right.
And I had to be very intentional
Mhm.
about the people that I brought on board, because each character has a place.
Right.
Each character has a position.
Mhm.
They have a reason why they're there.
Mhm.
They interact the way they interact for
Right.
a purpose. So it was very important to cast the right people.
Yeah.
And I think we did a very good
You
job
nailed it.
doing that. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the other good thing about it is every cast member related
Mm-hmm.
to the person that
That they-
they were cast for. Unknowingly,
Unknown.
they related to these people. So I'm very, very excited about it, very passionate about it. And I'm ready for the world to see it.
All right. So let me ask you: did you use experienced thespians, or are these first time?
So I have one first time actor,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have one actor who has been in one other show.
Yeah.
And the thing about even the cast,
Mhm.
before I cast the show, we had a casting meeting,
Right.
putting out papers, matching up families, trying to see what looked good, what made sense.
Uh-huh.
And when we finished, I went home and I had another dream.
Okay.
And the dream that I had was almost opposite to the people that were on the table.
Okay.
And it's the craziest thing. One of the girls that we cast, that was initially cast, that was not in my dream, she passed away not too long ago.
Hmm.
And I said, well, God, is that why
Mm.
you took her out of this conversation? Because you knew
Hmm.
what was coming?
Mhm.
And she would have been great. She's
Yeah.
a phenomenal actress.
Yeah.
But I feel like God knew
Mhm.
that was going to happen. And so he put in me again the dream for the cast of therapy. And in obedience, that's who I collected.
Mhm.
And rehearsals have been,
Off the chain.
they have.
Mm.
I don't think that we've had one yet where tears have not
Yeah.
fallen out of somebody's eyes.
So I need to be prepared to cry.
Oh, we're gonna have to have tissue on every seat.
Okay. But it's cathartic. It's a purge. We need this.
You do.
That's
You
part
do.
of your healing process.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And that's kind of why I've monikered this.
Mhm.
We all need therapy.
Yes, we do.
We all need a little therapy. I believe it. I know I do.
Okay. So we all need some shape, form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So I see you have a guest that has joined us.
Yes.
So I could go. I have some little what are these? I have these little videos where I can click like surprising facts,
Uh-huh.
and they can flash for about 30 seconds,
Okay.
and I can ease.
You can ease
I-
on in here.
Right. I don't know if you want to get up or you want her to, because she's not gonna be on. We're gonna have to strip.
We're gonna scooch. I scooch in.
But
or
we
I
can start
scooch out.
scooching.
Okay.
Start
let me
scooching.
start scooching.
So when I hit this slide, because it's only gonna be 30 seconds, I gotta see what she's made of. She's standing back too far. She need to be ready. No, don't go yet. Just you gotta be ready to come get in that seat. That's your seat. I'm about to. Surprise! I'm about to hit your. Okay, this is your chance. This is your. Well, and here we are, scooching. Oh, I love it. Oh yeah, flexibility.
We in that thing now.
Yeah, that's what you need to know how to do is improvise when you do play, because you might change that script up, or somebody might forget a word, and you got to come back. You got to stay on your toes.
And we do an exercise at every rehearsal
You do?
that will help you if you forget your line.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Oh,
we
that's
do.
good. So this is perfect then.
Matter of fact, let's practice real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Right.
You gotta answer with a question.
Okay.
Did you eat today?
Did you go to Papados?
What did you eat?
Do it look like I ate?
What did you order?
Did you eat anything that she ordered?
Does she like Jimmy Chongas?
Is the sky green?
the sky falling.
Is the sky green?
But this is an exercise that we do because when you're on stage, you never know who's gonna drop a line.
That's true.
You know, and so you have to be ready to pick it up immediately.
Pick it up.
We have a little bit of fun before we dive into you know, the real work, doing stuff like
I
that.
didn't even have to give these facts. I guess that was an interesting fact. We talked about forgetting lines in place. And then we talked about the activity. I guess that's a memorization, a form of memory, a form of, I don't know what you call it.
Fast.
Yeah.
Think fast, something like that.
Think on your toes.
Okay, well, that was an interesting fact. We use think fast in order to, I guess, to segue into the next, I don't know, phase of the play, like if somebody, because we can't stop.
You can't.
You got to keep moving. Nobody really knows the lines.
Nobody knows but you, and only we know that we forgot.
But if you